Hello everybody, so today we're going to look at rejoining the circuit, Compton Abbas. Before we do that, I want to just point out a couple of things, and if you were to go into Google and search for the AIP, it's one of the first things that comes up hopefully on your search. If we go into it, it gives you a wealth of information. You want this one, the current AIP, bring you to a page that looks a bit like this, which has all the different sections. You want aerodromes. If you go down, you can find Compton Abbas. It's got all the other major airfields in the country. If we go towards the bottom part, usually, of the information, you'll get charts and diagrams. So this one is for the circuit joining and noise abatement procedures. You can see that it wants you to join at 800 foot QFE. Today it's runway 26 that's in use, so you'd come in over the 08 numbers and you would join like so. And on the actual Compton Abbas website, there's this diagram which talks about overhead joins, which we'll cover as well today. As it's a 2-6 approach, this diagram kind of needs to be in reverse for you to kind of mentally visualize it. It gives heights in QNH, which is obviously different from what it says here, which is in QFE. We need to be very careful with our pressures here. QNH is your height above sea level, and QFE is your height above the airfield. There's many ways that you can try and remember that, but it's kind of easier in practice when you get used to using it. What we'll do now is we'll go into the simulator. We're going to fly, as in this diagram, we're going to come in from the north. But we'll come in on this side. We'll conduct a descent dead side over the forest. We'll come in over the 08 numbers. And we'll do our downwind leg. We'll come back around. We'll land in on our final on the 26 side. So that will hopefully make it a bit more clear than it does in the diagram. Just while we're on the AIP, there's the aerodrome chart as well. Just want to show you. Ooh, we can move this around. We can make it bigger. Now you'll notice there's a public footpath right through the middle of the airfield. I have had one instance where I had to conduct a go around because there was hikers crossing. This was quite early in my after I'd gone solo in my consolidation, so I couldn't put my finger on what was wrong. All I could tell was something didn't look quite right up ahead. Just as I was coming over the numbers, there was aircraft queuing here for takeoff, letting me come in. Something in my eye just didn't look right, and I couldn't put my finger on it. But I said I was going around, and I applied full power, and I took off and went over this lot. And it was literally as I was about here that the control tower said that to all aircraft that there was people crossing the runway. So yeah, it's something to be aware of in real life, but at least it's not an issue with Microsoft Flight Simulator, and hopefully won't be a problem today. Okay, so here we are, 2,800 foot above the circuit on the QNH. Got the QFE set, so it shows that we're at 2,000 feet. This is us passing onto the dead side so that we can descend. There's a little bit of cloud here, which we're obviously keen to avoid. I'm trying to maintain VFR. Low power setting. Carb heat on, especially with all this humidity and water in the sky. I want to keep this at a decent level on the way down. We're going down to 800 foot. So you do your descending deadside call. Got to keep an eye out for traffic round here. I think everybody is converging on the same spot. This is where it could all go wrong, so mid-air collision risk is probably higher at this point than at any other, but overhead join I think is a pretty good idea actually. It's a fairly safe way to do it. Okay, here we go. It's about our sort of 2,300 RPM. We are balanced, and we're going over the 08 end of the runway. So we're going to join. So this is our crosswind leg. You see call crosswind on the radio. Obviously, I wish to state that I am just a student. I'm not an instructor. And this is to assist you in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is not about the real world. So here we are. Pass it on through. Talk about the bus sheds before in my last video. There's double-decker buses visible. Just there. This is a good sign that we need to start turning for our downwind. Maybe we'll correct it a little here. So, downwind checks. So brakes are off. Undercarriage is down and fixed, mixture is rich, prop pitch is fixed, fuel is on left tank, we'll switch to the right tank. Fuel pump on, landing lights on, instruments, DI to compass, all good. Carpet is still on, hatches, harnesses, all happy. Stingray wood there, it's a good indication that it is time to turn for base leg. There's the airfield over there. As the downwind is a little bit further out, you just have to wait a little bit before you start to commence any sort of descent. So about here is right. I'm going to bring it down to 1700 RPM. Flaps 1 and 2. Check for symmetry. Check there's nothing incoming on a long final, which would be very naughty. Right, we need to try not to lose too much height at this stage. We're going to pitch ourselves for 75. Trimming. Need to start turning really now. Decay to about 70, we're going to go full flaps, 400 foot to go. We'll see what the wind is like with the turbulence. In this level of, is it service update 12, they've put in some new turbulence effects in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and in real life, if you've seen my solo video, you'll see that I have quite a time bumping my way over these trees. little bit to the right of centre here. Pushed by the wind. Gonna get any turbulence? A little bit high. Let's just give it a wee. Ooh. Quite an aggressive side slip there. Let's just get it in, get it in, get it in, get it in. Right, we're gonna go full power, drop a stage of flap. Carb heat is gonna come off. We're gonna take off. Yeah, that flap went up nicely. .200 noise abatement turn to avoid the village at the bottom of the hill. We turn towards Melbury Hill, which is nice and visible on the horizon here. Flaps on and flaps off. And oh! Get the nose down. Engine failure. We're gonna trim for 75. The good thing about engine failure on this side is you've got lots of options, lots and lots of options. Flaps 1, flaps 2. I'm gonna go for this long field here. The lower section of it, because it's got quite a drop here. So, mags mixture, mayday, master switches, and if you had time, get your hand down there and you switch that off as well, but it's a little bit fiddly. You might have seen aircraft do that at Compton, Abbas. The good thing about Microsoft Flight Simulator is you can actually put it on the ground if you want to. But I just want to show off the circuit. We'll come back around again. So, flaps in. Link in back into the circuit here. .80 knots is about best climb. Looking at our window, there's those bus sheds I was telling you about. So we know we're at the right point to turn. Just going to sort the trim out, get ourselves steady in the downwind. There we are, we're parallel with the end of the runway, so you give your downwind call now. We're still not to rise up, here we go. So again, we check brakes are off, undercarriage is down and fixed, mixture is rich, prop pitch is fixed, fuel is on the right tank still, we'll probably flip it back to the left now. Fuel pump's on. DI to compass, instruments are happy, carb heat on. hatches, harnesses. All happy. Let's get ourselves past Stingray Wood. Looking very big in the window here. The wind's coming from the west, so I think I just need to sort of cut in a little bit. It's more of a southerly heading, I think, just to keep it going in a straight line. Is that 1700? Yep, perfect. Didn't even look at that, just by sound I did that. Flaps 1 and 2. Check in to the left for any traffic. .600 so now we start our turn. I'm just going to give it a little bit of power. So we're keeping 75. Degrading to 70. Full flap. We're a little right of centre line, but the wind's going to push us. See if we can do this a little bit better and see if we get any turbulence. .70, 65, come on. Fully cut that power. Get the nose nice and high, nice and high. Hold it off, hold it off, hold it off, let it come down. No stall warning, just a bit bouncy. Keeping that stick back even now, just to try and keep the pressure off the nose wheel. Not even braking yet, just letting it roll till we're fully down. There we go, and then just a little gentle. And there we are. Runway vacated. So that's us for today. If there is any questions, please put them in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Try and get as much information as possible for these videos. If there's anything else you'd like me to do that would be of benefit to people, let me know. I'd like to do a nav exercise, and my most recent 1 in 500,000 chart has gone out of date. So I might do a little bit of a giveaway for this, just to get it out, as I'm going to need to get a new one anyway. So that might well be up for grabs. Any other issues that might be of interest, let me know. We'll do a walk around possibly. Pre-flight checks, you name it. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.